Kia ora, Cam. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, it's nice to be here again and see that the predator-free Tautokoro collective is still operating. I'm just going to share my screen and run through a bit of a presentation. So hopefully you can see all of this. Cam, can you see that? It's all good?
Aye.
Cool. Okay. Look, so a few things is basically just running through where and what Boffa does in this predator-free spaces, really what this little presentation's about. And so to do that, I mean, it's not just me. Got an awesome team at Boffa here. So in Northland, there's myself, Helen Nathan and Adam Willits. Helen has come from ZIP and Adam has come from Breamhead Conservation Trust. And then in our Auckland office, we've got Helen, Lee and Katana. Excuse me. NRC's trying to call me for some reason. Yeah, so we've got a really good team involved in this space, and we do a really wide range of work in the predator-free space. Next. So yeah, what is our involvement? We do a lot of work in the R&D space for predator-free. And I'm going to run through quite a bit of that here and give you an update on what some of these tools are. So Stephen, some of the stuff you're talking about today, you know, the new tech that's coming online is definitely some of the stuff that we're involved with. AI cameras and traps and new lures and all that sort of stuff. The other part of what we do and do quite a bit of here in Northland is the landscape planning, where we're helping groups to plan for eradication or eliminations. And it's not just here, but around the country also providing that support. So yeah, so our bit of an update on our R&D, and we're involved in quite a few things. So I'll just run through them probably as quickly as I can. As I said, we've got a team of people that do this, so I won't have all the answers, but if there are questions, to any of those or answers to the questions that I can't provide, I'm happy to come back later on and fill everyone else in when I can. So we partner with a group or Critter Solutions, which is actually involved in developing a whole bunch of different tools. So we've got a Flexi comms, which is a remote communication system. We're developing some AI self-resetting traps. We're trialing new toxins, the norbormide. We developed the Pauku. A lot of people have been using that. Also developed the Easy Lure dispenser, which is coming online soon, and some AI monitoring tools, such as the Critter Pick. And a lot of this is heavily funded through Predator Free Limited, Department of Conservation, as well as some private funding. Sorry, I just need to move my notes. And it's, yeah, thanks to the, those organisations that have enabled a lot of these advancements to happen in the predator-free space over the last few years. So yeah, everyone's sort of pretty keen on these things, the new tech and what's coming. Our AI trap is looking really good at the moment. It is got the capability is built in, so it's doesn't have to send it back to a cloud or somewhere else. It makes a decision instantly. It will only go off or trigger when it detects the right species or your target species. So there's a really low or basically no risk to non-targets. The trap design is quite open, so that encourages more interaction rates compared to some of the other closed off ones. Easy to deploy and basically set and forget bit of thing. It's a long life, so the mechanism and the battery is designed to last for a long time. And we're currently undertaking some field trials with hopefully the commercialization in late 2024. It takes a long time to develop these things, and Stephen, I think you touched on this as well, that to get this new technology and like with the toxins, there's a lot of process to work through. So we've actually done quite a bit in this space. As I said, we've done all the background stuff. We're really now at the field trial stage of making sure that these things work. Sorry. And then once we've done all that, look at getting the NAWAC testing, and again, that commercialization. Just some stats on the different traps, or the traps. So far, the results that we've got are really, really good. All the trial stuff that we've done, we've had a pretty much 100% success rate. So remember, that requires the device to trigger once an animal puts its head in and it decides instantly that that's the right species to go off. So for rats, stoats, and possums, it's been really effective. And to date, we've achieved the NAWAC, a really good A-class rating for rats and stoats. And as part of all this as well, we've had to do some non-target trials. So we've put these devices in care enclosures and other enclosures at the zoo, which is, really what we've got to ensure that we don't, this new tech doesn't actually impact on our non-targets, which is becoming critically more important. And it will ensure that we also have a social license to operate into the future. I think we've got a video next, so hopefully this works. Just see the little fella running off with a peanut. Oh, sorry. So then we've something else that we're working on is the AI camera system. So this is I'm gonna run through this, but it's a thermal camera. It's lightweight, portable, low cost, low power, long life, real-time AI processing on board. So it doesn't send it back to the cloud or something else to make a decision. The decision is made in the unit. And then that can link back to your flexi communications sort of units, and so again you end up with this real-time processing or information capture, notification of your target pest species, and linked to that is your dashboard. So basically, as I said, you get notified when the species that you're looking for is present, which you can see just here. It's an example of the unit, and again the detection of using this camera is really, really effective and efficient, and so much more effective than a standard game camera. Sorry. Something else that we've done, and this is available, is the CritterPick. So this is a unit that you can put out in the field, and long life, and will detect a bunch of different species. So you can see here we've got a few things, but really easy to use. It's again sort of set and forget, and come back and it'll tell you what's in that area or interacted with the device. And I've got some pictures here of the different types of insects and lizards, birds, kiwi in there, saddleback, etc. That when they go in, it takes a picture, and it can accurately identify what that species is. The FlexiComms is another unit that we're working on. Again, this is a remote communication system, compare with traps and the cameras and things to allow us to send the information remotely, and it is all instant. So and basically can be attached to any of your devices, and connects dozens of devices through to the cloud or one access point. And they're able to transmit like a small amount of data or more complex things like images. And you can see here that through that it's linked back to the dashboard, and the images have come through from the unit. Easy lures. These are an automated lure device, really good and effective. Again, we've designed these in a way that they can be adapted or added to pretty much every standard trap. And so far, the results that we've got are really been really good. They're designed to last for a year without a refill or a battery change, and they can be retrofitted to any of your existing traps or monitoring systems, and user programmable as well. So you can change the amount of lure that comes out of them. And what we're working on now is just a few different lure types. So we're just trialing some of those at the moment, because as we know, some species like some things and don't like others. But also these things are a really good pre-feeding tool, just to get pests into your around the traps and devices, your monitoring tools, and helps overcome the neophobia. I think I've got some videos here as well. So hopefully these work. Just some animals interacting with these easy lure devices. So this one here, if you can see, is it actually drips inside the unit, and then enough for the animal to get a bit of a lick on the outside, and that animal stayed around for a long time eating that. Another one here with a possum interacting on a trapinator. No, it doesn't go off, so we won't wait for that one. And some rats playing around with it as well. So all species are interested in this stuff, which is, again, really cool. Oh, sorry, flipping around. And here's just a bit of some comparison for the easy lure stuff that we've been doing, showing that, for rats especially, that we had really good success when we used rats, the easy lure compared to a standard lure, which in this case was just a raise, but really effective. And again, with for possums, when we used the easy lure, we had a really good success rate compared to a standard lure. Just going to touch quickly on the other part of what we do, which is that landscape planning, and that's really a lot of what we've done up here, is supporting some of the predator groups or pest eradication programs or predator-free programs in the landscape planning and management. And a key part of that really comes back to having some really good data. And so for each of these projects, it's working out what needs to go where, and part of that feasibility that Stephen talked about is doing your planning. And so I think one of the key things that we've learned over the last 12 months is that actually takes quite a bit of time to get right, and working through with each of the community or your agencies or organizations. So I toko what Steve was saying about that feasibility and the planning. You do the planning well, I think your end result's you're gonna ensure you try and you aim to get that result right. I think that's about it. Happy to take some questions if we've got time.
Kia ora, Kane. That was a really engaging presentation. Thank you. I think the suspense with some of those possum videos was killing me a bit, so I'm glad I'm glad it didn't happen, to be honest. But I must admit, this is quite a new perspective for me, and I probably didn't appreciate the range of work you and your team are involved in. I get a sense that the work you and your team are doing, to me, kind of is starting to engage with some of the stuff that Stephen noted around really understanding a problem and engaging with technology to find like a bespoke solution. It was also really interesting to note how significant some of the project timeframes you were working with are. And they seem to kind of require, I guess, a mixture of kind of commitment and agility that I get a sense the private sector are probably better at others at doing. So I guess that's my question is, having kind of worked in this space at different kind of areas of the table, from local government to the private sector, I just wondered if you had any thoughts on what you think are some of the main benefits like a private consultancy can bring to the predator-free work underway in Northland and across the country.
Yeah, that is a good question. I guess for us, as we're looking at, in developing some of these things, is to commercialize them. When we're working with Predator Free Limited, one of the key things that we have of developing these products is that they become commercially available to everybody. So, we've got a big driver there to make them available to, as many people as possible, basically. But to do that, we've got to make sure that they're really effective, value for money, and they work. And so, I think that's where the private sector, I think, is going to add a lot of value in ensuring that the equipment or new technology or tools actually get to market. So hopefully that's my take on it anyway.